Hello everyone, welcome to Hanlon Labs channel. I am Sakshi More, a lab assistant at Hanlon Financial Systems Lab. So today we have with us Professor Joseph Tribo. He is one of our esteemed professors at Stevens Institute of Technology. He is proficient with subjects related to business and strategic management. It's a pleasure to have you on board today, Professor. We also have with us Maran Patel, a fellow lab assistant. He's pursuing his master's in computer science and he has worked under the supervision of Professor Tribo on this project. So, we will be talking about the research page that they have been working on. So, without further ado, let's begin. The first question is for you, Professor. What was your motivation while creating a new research page, and what was your vision for the same?
Well, first is as a researcher, we need some resources to make research, and the way to find the resources, the more efficient our task. No? As simply as a user of these resources, it's a must that you have to as a web page that facilitates our task. No? It's the raw material that we need to compose our articles. No? And also is a good publicity for the center. No, that is the center. One of the characteristics that we want to promote is the research dimension. And also researchers, if you come to the center to this web page and retrieve resources, it's good for the center. It's good publicity for the center. That's the motivation.
So, like you've mentioned, your motivation and Marvin was working under your supervision. Next question is for you, Marvin. What was your role in creating or designing this web page?
So I was basically like given the task to build the web page, and as Professor talked, the web page is basically like we have combined all the resources that one needs to research. So in the background we have the web page. So the basic design was that we have 8 of the frames, and that so like one of the frames is publications, which collects all the publications that are like published by the professor at Stevens Business School. Then one of the other pages research projects, which enlists all the research projects that are done by professors, masters and PhD students. We also have a databases section that enlists all the databases that are maintained by the Hanlon lab and so on. So this is all the web page and all the pages that are there under this main page. And like Professor Tribo only enlist like collected all the information and provided it to me.
Okay, so now that you mentioned about the like the research page, talking about the same, Professor, what challenges did you come across or face while gathering the information and bringing it along with the resources together on board?
Well, challenges are depending on. I mean, the databases are quite different, no? And also to try to homogenize this, no? And it's one of the challenges, and to put in a systematic way, no? So because there's a lot of heterogeneity, it's not the same. The different databases, it's different from seminars, and also one of the challenges is that to try to put information of quality. You know, this we have an interesting in one of the boxes. One of the boxes is the open resources. No, behind open resources, we want to put open resources that are meaningful and also that are really useful for the researchers. No, and also we have to think a little bit on that. No. And this for the basic design, and also we wanted a very simple and visual design. I think 8 boxes, then it's very clear how to channel this your needs, no, in one of the boxes. The other thing is how to maintain, because one thing is the web page design, and then to maintain, which is another challenge. No, so we need to put some resources because this is very dynamic. No? Seminars and so on. No?
True. So similarly, when it comes to you describing challenges with the vision, when it comes to you, Marvin, while you implemented or designed the page, what were the obstacles that you faced during this process?
So not much obstacles, because most of the information was given by the professor was static. So only one of the pages which I had difficulty was the publications page, because most of our web information in the website is static. So we use Ghost content management system for that, and we only have to like handle the front end part, which basically uses handlebars, CSS and HTML. But this page had to like interact. We had to like bring in the data using the Scopus API. So we had to make a get call request for that, And since we are using Ghost, in generally Node.js we used a package called Axios for that, but we did not we could not install it because we had to use HTML for it. We just had access for HTML. So what I did was I created a script tag which called a GS file, and then that I called the API using an Ajax call. So like knowing how to do this was a little bit challenging, and I had like most of the time was drained in this.
Okay, great. Also, when you talk about obstacles and coming back to the resources, so what specific resources were used? What were eliminated? So, how was the process of pick and choosing the resources for this specific page?
Well, it's now the priority that is thinking when you're thinking basically it's about producing articles or producing research, no, and also what is the most basic one, databases, no, this is the raw material. This and then what are this is the primary, the secondary seminars are important but less important. The most important is you need the raw material to produce the information to produce articles. This is the most important. And then we follow this priority rule that is from the most important, the most basic to the less important. And also there were some additional resources that we discussed, but also we wanted to that it is to just maintain eight resources because are in a single page, no? And so that's was our initial constraint, no? Because another resources that we discussed is about if you have an article that is under revision in a good journal, to put additional resources to put one of the articles there to as an open forum to receive some feedback. But at the end, we consider that this was not so essential, and was this the summarizing priority. The for most important, the less important, and to and this to and putting as a boundary condition max 8 resources.
I remember discussing the
Yeah.
recurring articles, but then we decided that it would be difficult to maintain it.
Exactly.
Okay, so definitely when you're working on something like this, there has to be a lot of back and forth data. So between you two specifically, so how actively did you all interact while working on this, as well as how long did this process take in order to get a fully functional web page?
Oh, we interacted weekly. Basically, I sent some information to Marvin and corrections and whatever. And what it took was 4 months, perhaps more or less.
Almost 3 to 4 months.
3 to 4 months, exactly. That was very dynamic and have a good full relationship. No, was no problem. And also he was very active. Also he almost immediately making the corrections, and that's it. I thank for his competence.
Great, great. So now that the page is fully functional and out there on Hanlon website, how do you plan to advertise it? And what do you think? How do you think would you want the target audience to reciprocate on this?
Well, we need some feedback from the audience, and we have received limited feedback. Well, first, they like that is because it's very clear the design, and also to be totally honest, in one of these boxes is about this research project. We need information from the faculty, and we didn't get that information. Then in that sense, well, we have to perhaps insist more on that. But because these are resources that has to be dynamic, has to be it's very directional. We provide some resources, but we need also the feedback from the faculty, and also at that point it's just unidirectional, actually, in a way.
Yes, and you also mentioned feedback from the audience, but we would also like to know what is your feedback on working with Marvin, and what do you think of the entire experience of working?
No, I have a very good experience. Marvin is very competent. Also, he also provided some valuable comments on, because initially the issue about the publication, there was a significant issue, and also finally we have to we have to provide some resources, but it has to be functional and has to be realistic to maintain the resources. No? And also there's a trade-off. Maybe we cannot be very ambitious because otherwise we cannot maintain updating, and also we have a good back and forth to get to the right trade-off between the functionality versus the density of the resources.
Okay. Okay, so let me move to the last question. In the future, do you think of any more such web pages in order to enhance the website to make it more informative?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Well, going back to the previous one, let's consolidate that one. And also that be functionally 100%. Let's get real feedback from the faculty. Let's be one. Let's say let's achieve this point that is fully functional before moving to an next project. But that's the idea, though. That is to move to next projects. But I am an academic, no, and as in the academy has to be conservative. So you want to be too ambitious, in the end you are going to nowhere. It's not a disruptive institution. It's the academy. No, have to. But this is my approach. It has to be incremental. And then following an incremental approach, let's consider this resource, which I think is a good resource, before moving to a next step. For sure, there will going to be a next step, but it's for.
Yeah, I would like to add a point on that. Like you said that in the research projects, like initially we didn't have enough projects, but then in the semester we have started like contacting faculty and student members, and we have like put up projects. So like we are starting to maintain the website, and I'm sure that.
So that was it. Thank you, Professor,
Okay.
for sharing a valuable time and your insights on the project. And it was a great pleasure to have you on board. Also, Marvin, thank you to you for sharing
This is my first interview in the United States after 5 years. In Spain, I used to get interviews, but here, this is my first. It took me 5 years to get an interview here. Not bad.
It is our honor that we
Thank you,
are
thank you.
Thank you,
first
Professor.
experience.
Thank you.
And it was indeed an informative and an interesting session. Thank you all for watching.